Right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Thursday, May 2nd, set today by Fed. Let's see what Fed has in store. Group of golfers wearing small jumpers, possibly getting temporary replacements. I don't know which end is the definition. A group of golfers, could be foursome, 8 letters. But I don't see wearing small. So wearing makes me think something goes around something else. Oh, which would mean the group of golfers would be wordplay. It would be surrounded by maybe small as S. Jumpers, possibly. Could be just some kind of clothing, or it could be things that jump, of course. Oh, and maybe getting is just saying, and then once you've done the wordplay, you're going to get a word that means temporary replacements. Stand-ins. Group of golfers could be PGA. Oh, and that made me think if PGA is in the middle of a word, it's probably a compound word. And I thought of stopgaps. They would be temporary things. Not sure about replacements, but I suppose so. So there's the PGA, and it's wearing, small as S, and tops. Oh yeah, tops, clothing tops. Could be a jumper, it could be a shirt, could be something else. But yeah, I like that. Oh, that's a good one to get. Porridge for one, mushy, moist, and cold. That's a great surface. I'm thinking the definition is going to be porridge for one. Now, what is porridge an example of? A breakfast, a cereal. I don't know. Of course, porridge is also slang for prison. Oh, it was also a sitcom. Oh, yes. Yeah, and in fact, I think I mentioned in a previous crossword how much I loved Porridge growing up, the TV show. And I think mushy here is an anagram indicator of moist and C for cold. And you get your sitcom. All right, good start. Let's see if I can keep it up. That's always the problem. Number one priority is always track events for starters. Oh, starters, of course, can often mean take the starting letters from the words in the clue, and we have an O to begin with, so is it O-P-I-A-T? Oh, yes, they're doing the old trick of number, and following it by one is very fiendish. Immediately makes you think it must be a number, but it's something that makes you numb, which I suppose could be an opiate. Now, your password shouldn't be, excuse me, this fancy. iPad potentially skipping every time. I'm thinking we should break it after B. Your password shouldn't be this. And guessable, I'm thinking, beginning with G. But then fancy indicates maybe an anagram. But, excuse me, we don't have a G in iPad potentially. Well, let me put in guessable and see if I can work out. Oh, I can work out the end of it, ABLE. An iPad potentially. iPad is an example of a tablet, but there are two T's in it, T for time, and you skip those and you get able. Oh, and I suppose a fancy could be guess. I would fancy, I would guess. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Vacuous, prince on air, trips up, revealing sweat. Well, 12 letters beginning with P. Perspiration, I think, is going to be 12. Perspire is 7, and then Asian. Yeah, I was trying to work out. I think vacuous prince might be just the P and the E. We empty out all the other letters of prince. And then on air, PE on air, that's 7 letters. And then trips, I suppose. But I'm not sure where the anagram indicator would be, because I think trips has to be part of the anagram fodder. So just up, is that enough to indicate an anagram? It'll be interesting to see what 15 squared has to say about that. I'm not sure about that. All right, let's go back to the acrosses. Runs, British, city. Well, I think it's probably going to be... No, maybe it's going to be runs. And it might be B for British followed by a 5-letter city, which probably ends in S. So it's a verb with an S at the end of it, runs. Runs can mean manages or operates, but it could also mean something is just running, it's working. But runs in cricket, of course, can be R, could even be 2, excuse me, R's if they want to be fiendish. And then I think it's probably R something. Well, we'll come back when we have some of the crossing letters. Ooh, in Hollywood, John Barry, having had some music cut for soap. Well, John Barry, the great film composer, but of course, that could be misleading. Oh, I'm thinking that Barry includes BAR, which is a bar of music, so maybe we remove that and we just have RY, which could be this. In Hollywood, what is Hollywood? La La Land. And John could be a bathroom. And then could soap. If that RY is right, soap is going to be the definition. But what meaning of the word soap? I don't think it's going to be a soap opera. Is it a soap you lather yourself with? I should be able to work out what word fits in there. Let me pause and think about it and drink a little water. Okay, I did have to resort to that website I use, wordplays.com, to see what word matched this, and toiletry. Now, there was also the former Rangers baseball player Mark Teixeira, but toiletry, of course, is a soap, or a soap is a toiletry. And the in Hollywood is just telling you it's a John as an Americanism, so they could have put any American location there. So a John is a toilet. Barry with the music cut. I am proud of myself for getting that one. So I think I am making progress. I know I don't always finish these crosswords, but I think I'm better than I was when I started. Anyway, right for salesman to be on the counter. I know they often have a salesman as a rep. So could it be rep and then a three-letter word for counter? I'm just wondering if, and then a right could be an adjective or it could be a verb. Could it be repair? To repair something could be to make it right. But then air would be a counter melody, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. No, I'll come around on that one. Promises royalty has regularly ignored. Okay, so this is a simple one. Even without the letters, I think we might have got this one. So we regularly ignore letters out of royalty has, and we get, with every second letter, oaths, which are promises. Ban writer appearing after 10:30. Oh, well, now, is that a reference to 10 across? Or is it the number 10? 10:30 would be 5, of course, which could be V. Oh, but I am thinking ban could be to proscribe, because scribe is a writer. And so maybe 10 across starts with pro, right and proper. Let me put that in. Oh, a salesman, I did say rep on the counter, I think means backwards. But then we have ORP. But what is that even backwardsing? Oh no, it's for is pro, in favor of something. And then our rep backwards. All right, let's try the downs in the top right. Emotional, student joining year 1, class at the beginning. I think that final C is class at the beginning. And then 1 class would be a nice C ending. So I think the definition is going to be emotional. And then a year could be, well, with the I, it must be YR. And then I'm thinking a beginner is a learner. Does lyric mean emotional? I didn't know. That must be the derivation of, let's say, lyrics. I know there's such a thing as lyric poetry. Does it mean emotional? That's new on me. All right, how about blue cross set in plastic tie clip? Well, I know we've seen before where plastic can actually work like elastic as an anagram indicator. Tie clip has 7 letters, but if the definition is blue, maybe the cross is an X that is set inside of this anagram. Let's try our anagram helper. Oh, well, I presume it would be a EX. Explicit. Not the definition of blue I was thinking of, but a blue movie, explicit, yeah. Officer material, getting a green beret finally. Well, if the definition is officer, I can see sergeant fits. Oh, and it starts with surge, which is a material. Oh yeah, gets A. And then the final letters of both green and beret. All right. So now our runs British city. So if it is B, oh, I think it's bleeds. And I have a funny feeling of deja vu. I think we may have seen a very similar clue in the past. So I think that's how I was able to think that something is running, it's bleeding. Yeah, I think so. All right, let's try. Oh my goodness. ABBA checking on volume before I adjusted it on SOS. For example, where is the definition? We do have a B, so is it SOS, for example? Some kind of distress signal, aberration. It has to be a vowel before the B, right? A B, E B O B, I B U B. And then the wordplay, ABBA checking. Now, what's ABBA checking? I'm not familiar with that as a wordplay indicator. Does it mean not finishing? Um, hmm. Volume can be I think it's going to end in TION because of I adjusted. In fact, I think it's going to be I and then an adjusted it on, which becomes TION. What is that? Aberration? No, aberration is, I think. Oh, maybe it is aberration. Maybe it's a. If you watched my videos before, you know I hate the homophones that rely on the intrusive R in certain English accents, but some English people might pronounce ABBA as aber. Um, oh no, but it's not aberration. Aberystwyth, yeah, not fully clear on that. Let me pause and just work it out. Actually, I'm going to double check the spelling of aberration as well. Ah, no, it's abbreviation. So let's see how that works. Okay, yeah, so I think checking may mean like you would check a horse. I think you hold it up. So I think that's just the A, B. No, no, I think there's the A, I think of ABBA. It is checking on volume. Is rev volume before I and then adjusted it on. And so SOS is an example of an abbreviation, but yeah, I'm not sure about the REVI in the middle of ABBA. Yeah, so checking, I think I do remember now, means surrounding. On volume. Oh, on is re. Ah, yes, and volume is V. Volume 1, V1, before I. Now I get it. All right, sorry, I'm a little slow on that one. Let's try recovering beers and Charlie confiscated by home for those with a habit. Well, a home for those with a habit would be a convent, I think. Um, but I think the definition is recovering, and I think it's convalescent. So convent is the home for those with a habit, and it confiscates or surrounds beers, ales, and Charlie is C. Yep, there we go. Let's try 15. Originally Alan, partridge maybe, pulling faces in foolish endeavor. Well, I think it's going to mean a fool or in a foolish endeavor, like a wild goose chase, what's the old prank they would pull on people, a snipe hunt, a something. Now, partridge maybe could be a bird, right? But then what's pulling faces? Ah, a foolish endeavor. No, I don't see it. Let's go back here. Perhaps Tommy Cooper's opening in club, working with top name. Well, I loved Tommy Cooper, one of the funniest people ever. He just had to stand there. What's your favorite Tommy Cooper joke? I think mine is the one, it goes on a bit, but basically he's driving and his car phone keeps going off. It's his boss calling to tell him he's getting promotions and a raise and all of this. And then he crashes into a tree and a policeman asks him what happened. And he said he careered off the road. Of course, it's the way Tommy told it. Anyway, getting back to this clue, I have a feeling the definition is perhaps Tommy. And of course, they put Tommy Cooper together to fool us. But I think Cooper's opening is simply a C. In club, working with, maybe anagrammed with, top name. And I'm thinking, when I think of Tommy, I think of The Who, and Tommy was a concept album. So does that, I think club is literally club, anagrammed with top name, and the extra C from Cooper's opening. All right, rash, promises to pay after gold cards returned right away. Well, I think the promises to pay are going to be IOUs, and we've seen some form of that used before to indicate that ending of a word. Now, after gold cards returned, is it going to mean rash? I can see a word for rash being something like impetuous. Then gold could be AU or OR. And that may be returned along with something for a card. Could be K for king, Q for queen, J for jack, A for ace. But returned right, so maybe it is right away. No, I'm not quite getting that. Tremble as the woman almost stripped naked. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might mean tremble. Could it be shake? Because you do have she, the woman. Oh, the woman almost, yes. Ah, yes. A woman is she, and almost means we don't have the last letter. And if you strip the word naked of its outer letters, you get shake. All right, elaborate party. I have a feeling it's actually elaborate. It could be elaborate, but a word that means that and then also means party. Now, is that a party as in celebration, a function, or a do, as we used to say? Let me pause and think about that. No, I'm not thinking of it, so let's move on. Brown enraged when losing 2 internationals reveals independent. I think independent might be the definition. Of course, without the capital letter, just a word that means independent. Is Brown enraged? An anagram of Brown, but what's this losing to internationals? Maybe it's a specific person named Brown, Gordon, or some name maybe with two I's. Can I be international and you just remove? No. Okay, cycle occasionally, went in reverse, seriously. Well, could this be like the one where we got every second letter, or we ignored every other letter? Cycle occasionally, it's either CCE or YL. And then went. Now it's in reverse, so that might be. Oh, and the definition is seriously. So I can see the YL reversed would be LY. And so I think we want then a word for went that's also going to go backwards. And it's going to mean seriously. Oh, I can't think of a short word for seriously. Deadly. Deeply. Oh, yes. So they love their bathroom humor in The Guardian. And so went is peed. And that together, oh, deeply. Yeah, sorry, I got confused when I was typing. All right, deeply. Yes, there we go. I think that's right. Now, lords powerless after this lot, ultimately forming government. Lords powerless after this lot, ultimately. No, I have no idea what this lot almost makes me wonder if it's referring to the definition in the middle, but that would be very unusual. All right, let's go back to the downs. That was our, ooh. Oh, I'm sure I know this phrase so well, but it's just not coming to me. Partridge, maybe. Ooh, a mugs. Oh, what's the phrase? That's a mugs something. But I don't get. It's a mugs lot. It's a mugs errand. It's a. No, not seeing it. All right, hastily wrote long passage, making a drug into something that might be boring. I think the definition is something that might be boring, and I suspect that's literally like a drill, oil derrick or something. Nope. In retrospect, feel Biden is somewhat unpalatable. A retrospect can indicate we write something backwards, and so the definition then could be somewhat unpalatable. Feel Biden is. Now, are we going to use the letters of Biden? Are we going to somewhat. No, I was looking to see too if it might be a hidden clue. Oh, it is a hidden clue. Oh my goodness. So it's hidden and in retrospect. So starting with the I of is and working backwards, we have inedible. Oh my goodness. All right. Now that Rash promises to pay Rash. No, not seeing it. All right. Articles restricted by airline. One may be in hand. Well, articles, excuse me, is probably going to be AS or ANS. I think because of that A, I think it rules out THES. And it's going to be have an airline around it. That would mean a 4 or 3-letter airline. No, BOAC, they're no longer with us. And then one maybe in hand. Oh, could it be in a hand of poker? I'm not seeing it. All right, 25 centigrades close and hard to endure. Well, I wonder if this we have to solve 25 first. Centigrades close, I think, is just the E. And then hard to endure. Severe. Could that be? That would mean 25 would somehow be sever. But I don't see that. Okay, one's surly husband's breaking wind. I told you they like their bathroom humor. The husband is usually H. I'm wondering if that is going to break or go inside a word for wind, or oh, it could be wind, of course. And it could mean one is surly. One surly husband's breaking wind, wind. No, I don't see that. Okay, that's all the clues. I do see we have a B for our elaborate party. I don't think it's going to be Labour, which is a political party. Elaborate. Lib Dem. Yeah. Not seeing it. All right. The top half is looking good. I'm going to pause and look up and see what that phrase is. I do know. Oh, a mug's game. That's it. Game is a partridge, of course. Yes. And pulling faces is mugging. Maybe partridge, maybe pulling faces. Oh, I think just pulling faces in, not just pulling. I was thinking of mugging, making faces, but it's just faces, your mug, and that is pulled inside of A and game. All right. Now our brown enraged. Independent. Oh, I'm thinking of separate. Independent. Oh, yes. So brown could be sepia and enraged, irate, and they lose two I's. So international is I. All right. Does that help? Separate, Centigrades. Oh, sever could be to separate. Let me put it in, and we're past the 30-minute mark, so I'll use the check this button. It is correct. That's what I feel is a little loose, but I did get it, so I can't really complain. Articles restricted by airline. One may be in hand. Yeah, it's not a thumb or a palm. Napalm, maybe. Now I think there's going to be an S here or here. One may be in hand. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Are lords powerless after this lot? Ultimately. Lot ultimately would be the T. Might even be this lot ultimately is ST. Oh, lords powerless. I'm thinking lords are peers, and powerless, power is P. So if they're powerless, they lose their P. So ST, EE, R. No, I didn't mean to do that. Steers ultimately forming a government. I feel like I'm close. I do feel good about the EER. Lord's powerless. After this lot, ultimately, or maybe ultimately forming is G. But what's a word for government? Government maybe in the broader sense of managing. I'm going to try steerage. Let's check this. It is correct. I just had a feeling a word for government, but let's see. I think that's this lot. Oh, the peerage. Ah, yes. Okay. And then forming government. I suppose forming is just a linking word to say all of this wordplay forms a word for control, steer. Well, steerage, of course, to me means the lower part of a ship. But I suppose there's also a meaning of the word that means actually steering things or governing it. Ooh. Well, I want to say this is banana. Articles restricted by airline. What else could it be? Articles. Oh, yeah, I mean, we have two ands inside of BA. Is that it? I think that's a very loose definition of the answer. One may be in hand a banana. There's a lot of things you could have in your hand. What am I missing there that indicates the answer should be banana? I mean, the wordplay is very clear and fair, but one may be in hand. No, I don't get that at all. All right, 3 corners done. Let's try this. Hastily wrote. I wonder if a long passage, oh, of course, it could be a corridor, but I wonder if it could be a screed, making a drug, but hastily. Oh, how about hastily wrote could be scribbled? Oh, not enough letters. Oh, no. I hate when that happens. All right, so not scribbled. I do like that beginning with an I, though. Scratched. Making a drug into something that might be boring. Oh, how about, oh, an all, of course, can be boring. Oh, hold on, with the R. Yeah, let's try that. So, hastily wrote, I think is scrawled. Long passage, making a drug into something. I don't follow the wordplay, but let's check it. It is correct. Oh my goodness, I wonder if this is labor. It is. So I understand party is labor. Elaborate, I suppose if you labor the point, but I really dislike using a word that I'm sure derives from the same ultimate word origin, elaborate and labor. Oh, I do not like that at all. Sorry, Fed. So now rash, promises to pay after. Oh, so gold is AU. And then we have DAC because rash is maybe audacious. Oh, a card is a CAD, which is returned. Oh, a card, the word card is returned with the R taken away. Yeah, I said earlier I thought I was making progress, but here's somewhere where I've seen this before. Right away, you remove the R from a word, and I did not spot that. All right. So 22 down surely is cruel. No. Oh, how about a churl? That's a good Shakespearean word, I think. A churl, someone who is surly. And husband is breaking. It is wind. If something winds, it curls. Very good. All right, let's check all. Looks like everything is still there. Let's see what 15 squared has to say. All right, today's blog is by, do you say Shua, S-C, Chua? Anyway, let's see. I think there's only one across I had some question for, and that was 24. We get some of Tommy. Double definition, to overemphasize, to belabor. Yeah, we'll see if anyone in the comments doesn't like it. I think I got all the other acrosses. Oh, there's a little bit of porridge for you. Good old Ronnie. On the downs, 6, just the emotional, have to check that myself later. And then 16, it is a screed, replacing E for ecstasy with all, okay, making a drug into something that might be. Yeah, I see that now. And then 19, banana, one maybe in hand, one in a bunch, a photo of a very large banana. Yes, so thought this was marvelous. Well, good for you, Ellen. I wasn't so sure about it. Does audacious mean rash? Yeah, I think that's possibly a good question too. Banana, more than a handful. I still don't get that. But anyway, I did finish today, so it's unusual for me to finish on a Thursday, so I am happy for that. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.